What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Week 8. So let's dive into, I'm actually not going to do DFS in this video. I'm going to do season long. I'm going to do start sits for wide receivers. But honestly, I'll just do all pass catchers. So I'll just throw in my thoughts on tight ends. There aren't like a massive amount of tight ends that are like must starts. You pretty much kind of know you're shooting for touchdowns. No running backs. They already did the running backs. And then I'll throw in my kind of DFS thoughts only if it's like a very relevant player that I really like. But it's going to be mainly a season long video. So we're going to start going game by game on the bigger games. So we're going to talk about the games with the highest over-under, move to the games with the lowest over-under. So we start out with Packers at Rams, probably the game of the week. This other one's really good, this Bengals and Bucks game, and then Chiefs Broncos is all right. Saints Vikings is going to be a really good game as well. But this is the game of the week. It has the best shootout potential, 56.5 over-under. You're pretty much starting everyone from this entire game. You know, the running backs I don't want to talk about because we already did the video, but maybe that's the part where you'd be hesitant, I guess. But you're obviously starting Rodgers and Goff. And then it looks like Cobb's playing, probably. He's still got the hamstring injury. If he doesn't play, then that just makes Adams and Geronimo Allison a little bit better plays. You could still play Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the slot, but now obviously you can't play Equanimeous St. Brown because Geronimo Allison is back, but you're starting all the pass catchers in the Packers. It's a pretty obvious spot. Game's very likely to shoot out, and they're very likely to be trailing in that shootout. Same thing with the Rams. You're starting every single pass catcher. Obviously, Kupp is still out, so that means that Woods and Cooks are both exceptional plays. I right now actually have Cooks in my DFS lineup for the week. He's one of the guys that I fell on basically as like a last spot. That's what I had the money for. Excuse me. I'm not scared of the outside cornerbacks on the Packers. So you're not starting the tight ends for the Rams, though. You're starting the guys that get all of the volume. You know, it's Gurley, it's Cooks, and it's Woods. They just get everything. So those are the guys you're starting, obviously, there. You're starting everyone in this game as well. I'm starting Godwin in my league, but that's because I just don't have as creative options. He'd be the guy you might leave off. You could leave off Deshaun Jackson. They're more of like flex plays, but they're high upside flex plays. You know, you watch the routes that Godwin is running, and he's running these high upside routes. So in a game that is also very likely to shoot out, 54.5 total, we know that the Bucks are just dreadful in pass defense, and they're actually pretty solid in run defense. That's when games shoot out. So if one of these teams can get up like 14-0, 10-0 real quick, it's going to be a great game. I love Winston this week because I've loved Winston every week because I've loved Winston, you know, the whole offseason. He's just a great play this week, especially in DFS. He's way too low owned and underpriced. It's a great combination to have. But you're obviously starting Evans, and then I said D-Jax and Godwin are more flex plays, but I can still see starting them. I'd start O.J. Howard at your tight end spot. I think he has a good week. For the Bengals side, I believe John Ross is out. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure that's even been announced yet. Now I don't remember. But you're obviously starting A.J. Green. I would say that Tyler Boyd, just disregard what happened last week. It was kind of a fluke week. It was just disregard it. I think that Dalton just looked bad, was bad, obviously, and that's not going to continue against what is apparently like a historically bad Tampa Bay Buccaneers pass defense. And not that I don't think Mixon's going to do anything on the ground, but I think that there's a chance that the Bucs get up early, which I know that they're not favored in this game. They're favored to lose. They're underdogs. But I think there's a chance that the Bucs get up early and the Bengals are forced to pass more. So I do like the pass catchers on there. Uzoma is fine, as he's more of a tight end too, though. If you have better options, I would go with them other than Uzoma, but I like Howard on the other side for tight ends. Another great game is this Broncos game. You're starting Emmanuel Sanders. The Chiefs have a really bad pass defense, but I will say there's elevated risk in that they play so much better at home. They're one of those teams like the Patriots that have these crazy home road splits on or not home road splits, but on defense, the home road splits, I guess. The Packers are another team in offense that comes to mind. But at home, they allow a lot less yards and a lot less points to opposing offenses. Well, maybe that's more of a thing in previous years because they are so bad this season, but it has held this season as well. So don't expect Keenum to go out there and just like light the world on fire because he's Case Keenum and he's really just not that good. But I trust Emmanuel Sanders. The targets are there, and they're 10-point underdogs, so they're probably going to lose this game. So they'll have to throw pretty late in the game or skew heavy towards the pass. We know that Royce Freeman has already been ruled out, which means they're going to lean on Philip Lindsay, but that also just means they're probably just going to run less running plays. They don't want to feed Lindsay 25 times because he's not a workhorse running back. He's a great running back, but he's a great running back you give like 15 carries and 5 receptions to. He's not a guy you want to pound in for 25 carries. So I think they skew a little bit more towards the pass, and I think they're also forced to do that. I'm fine with Demaryius Thomas. He's more of like a low-end 2 or a flex play. He's not like someone I'm jumping up and down for. And then I like Courtland Sutton as a talent, but this is not the week that I'll be playing him. He should probably still remain on the bench. For the Chiefs, you're obviously starting Kelsey. You're obviously starting Tyreek Hill. I'll mention the splits. If for some reason you were hesitant on Kelsey, which is ridiculous, this is more of a DFS thing, I guess. His home road splits are awesome. They're like opposite of Tyreek Hill. Like Tyreek Hill crushes on the road and does just fine at home, but then Kelsey crushes at home and does fine on the road. I mean, fine as in like he is still like the tight end 1. But there are the splits there. Sammy Watkins, I actually don't hate as a flex play this week. If you're a little bit desperate, he showed up in Josh Ernsmeyer's buy low air yards model, and I think that when healthy, they really like to use him in the offense, and they actually feature him a little bit more at home too. So when they're on the road, they kind of lean on Tyreek Hill to just do crazy things, just have his monster weeks. But at home, they are kind of leaning on Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins a little bit more, with a little bit more Hunt as well. So it's 32 points. They're kind of pretty able to spread the ball around. And would I be shocked if Kelce, Watkins, Hill, and Hunt all had a touchdown? No, because this is the Chiefs, and they're going to crush pretty much every week because Patrick Mahomes is awesome. So we'll move on to the next game, Saints at Vikings. I really like this game. It's the Sunday night game, so it's not on the main slate, unfortunately. We know that Xavier Howard has been in shadow coverage pretty much every week. I'm not sure if it's been 100% of weeks, but he's going to shadow Michael Thomas. I don't care too much. I know Xavier Howard is good, and I'm pretty sure he's playing this game. I don't know why. I just got a thing in the back of my head that said, is he hurt? And I also said Xavier Howard, and it's Rhodes. Rhodes is a very good cornerback, and he has been shadowing wide receivers. So if for some reason he's out, and this thing in the back of my mind is right, obviously this is a smash spot for Michael Thomas. But if he's playing, which I'm pretty sure he is, I don't think he's hurt, but obviously check that. But regardless, it doesn't matter. You don't really even have to check that because you're starting Michael Thomas. It would just make, if Rhodes was playing, obviously it makes a guy like Traquan Smith a little bit better of a play. But that's really all you're starting from a pass catcher standpoint. You can start Benjamin Watson, tight end, but you probably have a better option. He's probably on free agency, and it's really not that great of a spot. It's just fine. So probably look somewhere else for that. But if you're desperate, you got some guys on bye, you got some guys on injury, because there's plenty of injuries this year, unfortunately. Traquan Smith is a guy that you can start in the flex, because I think that going forward he is going to be involved more in the offense, and he actually was involved pretty well last week against the Ravens at Ravens, which was a just brutal matchup. So the Vikings side, exactly how they're going to run their offense. Dalvin Cook has already been ruled out this week, so you have another week of Latavius Murray, which means another week of them skewing more towards the pass. Adam Thielen is the number 1 wide receiver in the league. You're starting him every week, no matter what the matchup is. And Diggs you have to start every week just because of the upside. This is a dome game, which Diggs usually performs performs better in. This is the spot that he exploded last season in the playoffs. You just got to start Diggs every week. I know he's been a little bit disappointing, but a 53 total, this team's expected to score, 26 points, and it's expected to be a 1-point game, be a close game. Diggs. This could be a spot where he explodes, but obviously this is a spot where Thielen is probably going to explode. So you play them, and you play Rudolph. You just basically have to play him every week. He's not getting those high variance weeks, but he's pretty steady. He's going to get you like 10 to 12. And at tight end, just give me 10 to 12 with a chance for a touchdown. I'm cool with that. This game's slightly interesting. I do think that the Colts win big here. I think that the 3-point spread is not enough. Obviously, it opened a pick'em because it opened when Amari Cooper was still on the Raiders. Now, I don't really think they're going to expand the role of Jalen Richard that much. I think they're actually going to give Doug Martin carries, which is crazy. So that's not really going to change. Amari Cooper was only seeing like 1 to 3 targets some weeks anyway. So the offense isn't that different other than the fact that now you have no Lynch and no Cooper. So they're not good. And the Colts are actually better than people think on defense. I don't know exactly what their DVOA is, but I know that for a fact that they are better than people think. So it's not a good spot for anyone on the Raiders. I guess Jared Cook it is playable for sure at tight end. If you have him and no one else, you're fine starting that. But don't expect them to just start feeding him because Cooper's gone, because there are plenty of weeks, like I said, Cooper had 1 to 3 targets. So even if you filter all of those to Jared Cook, it's not even that much different. Martavis Bryant is probably going to start turning into chalk on DFS. I will not be playing that chalk because I don't believe that he's good at football, and I like to play people who are good at football in my lineups. He's 3,700, so I get it, but I'm going to give you guys the play at 3,600. It's probably not the play. Don't think it's a good play, but there's a play that a direct pivot for about 20 times less ownership. But yeah, you could play Martavis Bryant, but in a season-long league, what are you doing? If you're playing Martavis Bryant, your team must not be good. Jordy is fine as a flex play, but again, your team's probably just not that good if you're playing him. The Colts side, Hilton's in a great spot. It looks like Mac's going to play, but watch obviously Sunday morning just to make sure. If he plays, you can start him as a flex option as well. Don't expect last week to happen every week, but we said he was good. He was in some of our videos as a breakout candidate, the sleeper candidate, but obviously keep in mind that he's not going to have 100 multiple scores every week. But yeah, it's Doyle looks like he's going to play, which hurts Ebron obviously, but I still think you can play Ebron. I don't think that they're going to throw, because they have the bye, I believe, the next week. I don't think they're just going to throw Doyle out there, to be running a bunch of routes and he's hurt. He is still hurt. So I would not play Doyle. You could add Doyle, I guess, right now, but this is a bye week next week. No one's going to add him. So if he's on free agency, maybe just leave him there for a little bit. Pick him up next week for free. But yeah, that's really it from this game. It's a good game that has a chance to shoot out if they hit Martavis Bryant deep. If Doug Martin happens to break one, if Jalen Richard gets a swing pass for a touchdown, excuse me. But I don't see it being super fantasy friendly. I think it's just fine. This game has a chance to be really good. All depends on if the Lions can score points quickly and keep the Seahawks away from what they want to do. The Seahawks want to run the ball 50 times a game. It's crazy, but they want to do it. They want to give Carson, they want to give Mike Davis and Penny all the looks in the world. Not even Wilson. Wilson's not even running it. But that hurts, from a DFS standpoint. If they're successful at that, which they could be because the Lions aren't that good at run defense, it hurts. And if Matthew Stafford's only going to throw the ball 25 times, that really hurts the upside of some of these pass catchers. I don't think that happens. I really do think that the Lions can get up early and force Wilson to throw, in which case this could be an awesome game. So I love the totals at 49. I don't think Vegas knows what to do right now to put it at 52, to put it at 47. It doesn't really know. So it's probably going to stay right in that range. I love Golladay on DK at 5,700. I think in season long you can definitely start him. Marvin Jones is more of a flex play. I like Golladay a little bit more. And then Tate, I believe, is also a great play as well. I also really like Kerryon Johnson this week. I've loved Kerryon Johnson this whole season. Finally, they're giving him the looks. I just really hope that they realize how inefficient Blunt is and how terrible of an offense you run when he's on the field. But I don't want to go on my Blunt rant because this is a wide receiver video. But love Kerryon Johnson this week. And he is getting carries inside the goal line, just didn't convert them last week. For the Seahawks, you can start Lockett and you can start Doug Baldwin as flex plays, but remember that it's a very low volume offense and what they want to do is run it. So ideally, they don't even use those guys. But the bye week may have helped Doug in his knee issues. So I could see starting him and I could see playing him in DFS. I'm just not like over the moon about that. This game also could be really good. There's a lot of really good games. All the ones I've talked about have a chance to be really nice, and then we kind of drop off after that. But Steelers at home against the Browns. The Browns are pretty solid on defense, but it's Big Ben at home. Like, it literally doesn't matter who he's playing. The total has dropped, but it's like the Steelers are probably going to win this game by a touchdown. The Steelers' defense is the easiest defense in the history of DFS. They're like almost min price, which is crazy. If you're streaming defense and the Steelers are available, you start them because it's that easy. But pass catchers, you can definitely start Landry. I do not believe Callaway is that good, so that's a desperation deeper league play. Njoku is probably my second favorite tight end this week on DK, and he's pretty much a must start in season long. That's probably it as far as pass catchers. That's really it that I would start pass catchers on the Browns. For the Steelers, you're starting everyone. You can start Vance, you can start AB, you can start Juju. You're obviously starting Connor, and he's one of my favorite running backs on this entire week. But keep in mind that the Browns aren't the smash spot that they have been in recent years. They're still like solid on defense. It's actually been pretty good against the pass. They flipped. Last year they were like good against the run and garbage against the pass. Now they're good against the pass and garbage against the run. So Connor's going to crush this week. He's in my lineup, but don't be shocked if Big Ben doesn't throw for like 1,000,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. He'll probably still have a good week, but don't be shocked if this game, they don't drop like 35, because the Browns are actually a respectable defense. But you're starting everyone that you would normally start there. That game already happened. This is the light your hair on fire play of the week. DJ Moore. If he's going to be, I've seen projections around like 0.5% owned at 3,600. He is a direct pivot off Martavis Bryant, and it would not shock me. They're trying to get him involved more. No one's going to play this guy because no one's going to play anyone from the Panthers, because in season long, you should not play anyone from the Panthers. But DJ Moore, 3,600. I do not hate that play. I will not be playing it in my one lineup, but if you're making a lot of teams, I would throw him in there at like 2% because you're going to be 4x the field at 2%, and that does not hurt you if he does bad, especially 3,600. Let's play like Gurley Connor lineups with potentially Devonta Adams running it back, which are really nice starts. But you're not playing Panthers players besides McCaffrey and I guess Newton if he's your quarterback, but just no one. I don't start people against the Ravens because the Ravens are an exceptional defense against the pass and the run. Like, I would even shy away from McCaffrey if you have like an elite team and he's even a question to start. I'm not sure I'd start him, especially in standard. Man, in standard, I don't think you can start McCaffrey this week. But this is a pass catcher video, and you're definitely not starting the pass catchers in the Panthers. As far as the Ravens, John Brown is just the king of air yards. I don't think he's leading the league anymore, but my breakout finally hit for John Brown, and he's an exceptional play. Crabtree's fine as a flex option. He's getting targets, but those targets are pretty close to the line of scrimmage. He's getting some red zone looks, but he's just fine. I mean, I wouldn't be that excited to play him, and I wouldn't be that excited to play Willie Snead. I have 2 builds right now for my main team, and Willie Snead actually is in one of them because he's cheap, but I'm trying to find a pivot off of him. It's just that's the lineup. I have everything I like plus Gurley, and the money I have left gives me Snead. But I don't want to play Snead, so I'm probably not going to go with that build. I'll have to figure out how to rework that. But in season long, if you need like 9 points, sure, but that's really all he's going to give you. He's going to be in that like 8 to 12 range, which is fine for deeper league, but it's just fine. Jets, pretty much their entire offense is just hurt. Like their whole offense is hurt. Their offensive line is hurt. It's just not a good situation to be in. I've heard people hype up Cannon. Like, come on, guys, play good plays. Don't. Cannon could have like another 7 receptions, but realistically, you're starting Cannon if you're in like a 16-team league and all of your running backs got hurt. That's when you're starting Cannon. But I'm not starting literally anyone on this offense. I was shocked. Like, I didn't look too much at industry last week. I have a few guys that I look at, obviously. I looked at ownerships right before the week started, and I saw Curse was going to be chalk because everyone wanted to play Curse last week. And I genuinely did not understand why that was. Like, Curse isn't good at football. And that always has to be, like, in the back of your mind. Like, yeah, you can project targets, and obviously targets are very much more valuable than skill. But at the end of the day, you still have to be good at football. And for Curse to be chalk, that made no sense to me. And so I think I played 5% of them because I was just concerned that I was missing something. But no. I guess in DFS, he's probably going to be low on this week. So if you want to take a shot, because no one's going to play him that played him last week because he had 0. You could do that, but don't touch anyone on this team in season long. For the Bears, I don't know. Like, you want to start Cohen in PPR leagues, but this is for pass catchers. You're starting Burton. You probably don't want to play Allen Robinson, but I can get it in the flex. I get Gabriel in the flex, but this is more of them just spreading the ball around. Like, Howard's going to get some carries, and then Cohen's going to get some carries, and then passes to Cohen, passes to Gabriel, passes to Allen Robinson. They're going to spread around these 25 points and field goals in there. So I don't see any one pass catcher standing out. I think you could start all of them in the flex. You know, it's just kind of there's no one has a great spot. The Jets, generally you attack them with the slot and short passes. So I guess Gabriel, but I believe Allen Robinson plays some slot too. So I don't like love anyone. I think everyone's playable. Patriots are the Patriots. You know, Sonny Michel down with the injury. Burkhead down with the injury. So you could play Kenyon. Is it Ken John Barner, something like that. You could do it in a deeper league. You don't have to do that in any sort of PPR setting. James White's just awesome. You know, I've tweeted it out like week 2, week 3. If I'm starting a franchise, I'm not starting with like Le'Veon Bells and Saquon Barkley's. I'm starting with James White. And that's not to say he's better than them. It's just to say, like, in terms of like actual football, I would much prefer to have James White and pay him as much as they actually pay him as the other guys. Because him not running this offense, Brady runs the offense, but his role in the offense is just awesome. And it's exactly what you want from a running back. You don't want a running back like LeGarrette Blount or a guy who every time you put on the field, you know they're not getting the ball in the passing game or they're going to get you like 3 yards in the ground. James White can give you 6 yards in the ground and he can have 14 receptions like we saw in the Super Bowl. So I love James White as a football player. I really hope they keep him for a long time. But you're starting him. You can start Hogan in the flex, but I probably wouldn't. White has been an exceptional cornerback this year, so I would shy away from Josh Gordon, but you could start him in the flex because he is Josh Gordon. He is being very involved in the offense as of recently. So the Patriots are funny. They have this 29 total, but there's no like specific spot that you're looking at like, oh, that's where all the points are going to come from. Like James White's probably going to have a touchdown. Gronk is probably going to have a touchdown. I would say Josh Gordon's going to get some yards. I would say Hogan's going to get some yards. I'd say Edelman's probably going to have a touchdown and get some yards. But again, like in the Bears game, no one's in like a smash spot. So you're playing Patriots players that you would normally play, but if it's close, if it gets close with Josh Gordon and like another guy, like Josh Gordon versus Emmanuel Sanders, like I'm starting Emmanuel Sanders. Josh Gordon versus John Brown, I'm probably starting John Brown. Can't combine them. John Brown. So I like the Patriots players, but if there's someone close in terms of the receivers, maybe go with the other guy. Because Buffalo always plays us pretty well in Buffalo. So I would not be shocked if we only put up like 26 as part of this total. And you're not starting anyone on the Buffalo Bills. So we can just move on from there. 2 more games to talk about? 3 more games to talk about? These are not exciting games whatsoever. You're not starting any pass catcher on Washington. Alex Smith is horrible, so you're just not starting any of them. Literally moving on from that. You're starting whoever you normally would on the Giants. Odell's in a really nice spot price-wise on DK at 7,500. He is not, like Josh Norman stays on his side of the field, so he's not going to really see much of him. Shepard, don't expect that every week. When Ingram plays, when it's all of Ingram, Odell, and Barkley, Shepard that was high end of his variance, which was real frustrating because I lost on that last slant pass that he caught at the end of the game. So that was depressing. But you're not really starting him in a 12-team league. You can, but it's not a great spot. 21 total when he's going to be like the 4th option in the passing game. You probably have better plays than that, so I would shy away there. Eagles, London games are always tough, especially when it really is at Jaguars, because the Jaguars have had so many London games that it's practically a home game for them, and they actually play well in London. But you're starting Alshon. You can start Aguilar, but this is still the Jaguars, so I would shy away from anyone as a tiebreaker. It's the same thing with the Patriots. Like if you Aguilar and someone really close to him in projection, just go with the other guy. But I would start Alshon because I do think that he can beat a lot of matchups because of how good he is. And obviously you're starting Ertz every single week, no questions asked. Jaguars, I'm not scared of the Eagles' outside corners or any of their corners, but it's the Jaguars. You have no idea where the production is going to come from. So you can take a shot on Dede, but that's it. Like I'm not playing really anyone on the Jaguars. Last one. Ooh, I really like a play in this game, actually, even with the 20 total. So garbage total. Not going to be a fun game to watch, but we've got the new Leftwich, I believe is his name, the new offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. And from what I've heard, he's actually pretty good. Like, he's a very intelligent guy. So hopefully he's intelligent enough to realize how good David Johnson is and how you got to get David Johnson in space. But even if he's just a marginal improvement, I don't think the 49ers are that great on defense. So I actually really like Christian Kirk this week on DK. He will be in my lineup at 4,500. He's been involved in this offense, and I believe he's going to be involved a little more this week with the new offensive coordinator. So I think he's in play as a flex play. You can play Larry Fitzgerald as a flex play, but in terms of pass catches, that's probably it. You can't really play Seals Jones. I wanted him to be a thing, and he's getting targets, but it's not really amounting to anything. 49ers side, you're playing Goodwin, Kittle. You can play Kittle, but Goodwin's more of a flex. Kittle's definitely a tight end 1. That's probably it. I can't think of another pass catcher I'd really want on that team. Looks like Brady's going to play. Brady's just a trooper, man. Wow, it is incredible. Like he gets like a season-ending injury every week, and then he just like limps back onto the field and is good. Like he's really good. I was wrong. I was wrong on the Breida versus Alfred Morris. Even if Breida like actually suffers a season-ending injury, I was wrong. And Mostert is apparently pretty good, but Breida is an okay play. Just don't expect him to feed him because like he is hurt. But yeah, I think that was a good rundown. These are not games being played. I think that was a good rundown in general, how the week's going to go. Remember, if you are a premium member of the website, the premium articles are up, including my DFS breakdown. I feel really good about this week in DFS because I generally write up the article, looking at some industry plays, looking at my own research, and then my favorite plays a lot of times end up becoming chalk because there's been a lot of weeks where the chalk has actually been good plays. This week, some of my favorite plays are not chalk, which is awesome. I usually play my lineup, and it's like if everyone's 30% owned, it's not like everyone has the same build. Like 2 weeks ago, it was like everyone had the same build because it was so obvious. And even last week, it was just so obvious to play Chubb and Kerryon Johnson and Gurley. Like that was just an obvious build, and everyone had the same lineup. This week, there is not an obvious build, and my lineup is projected to be low owned as of right now. So tonight, you can see that lineup in the chat, and then you can check out the article. You can probably tell what my lineup's going to be when I write the article every week. But $10 for the entire year is a ridiculous price not to pay that. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, how about we hit that like button? How about we subscribe if we're new? Thanks for watching.